Hi, this is Phil, and I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to play the Sentinel. Now, when you first start, because you're going into the first level, you just literally hit the Enter key. But later on, when you complete levels, it will give you a code for that level, which you will definitely want to make a note of, either on your phone or somewhere where you know you can refer to it down the line. So what it's doing now is it's just loading up the first landscape, or landscape 0 if you like. And this is a map, not that it's all that useful, but it's giving you an indication as to the kind of how the land lies, as they say. And this item here is the Sentinel himself. And typically you will start somewhere very low down on the map, if not at the lowest point. And your job is to simply elevate yourself so that you get to a point where you are higher than the Sentinel, looking down on the Sentinel's plinth, which it's standing on, so that you can then absorb him, and then you will teleport to where he is standing, or where he was standing, and then you can hyperspace to the next level. So let's hit return, and I will now jump straight in, and I will attempt as best as possible to explain this while trying not to get zapped by the Sentinel himself. Okay, so here is the landscape, and you can see you have these squares here, and it's upon those that you would build either a robot, which is what you teleport into, that's essentially how you move around, or you can create boulders on top of which you can stand to elevate you so you can actually quickly climb higher up. Now, before I get too much into explaining all of that, what I'm going to do is just have a look around, and I need to find where the Sentinel is, because it's very important to see which direction he's facing and which way he is turning. Now, okay, so here he is here, and currently he's got his back to me. So you see that black kind of triangle, and he will turn to the left, and you will hear this horrible kind of scraping noise, which indicates that he's moving. So what I will do first of all is I want to maybe move here. You see there's some squares down here, and I press the space bar, and that'll give me that crosshair, and I'm going to build a boulder there first of all. So I'm going to press B for boulder, and then on top of that I'm going to create a robot. So I now press R for robot, and now I'm going to press Q, and Q will teleport me. Now I will place the keys in the description, because you definitely need to know what the keys are. Now, because I've just teleported, it will then place you facing the opposite direction. The first thing that you want to do is go and absorb certainly your robot if you can, and also look out for any trees. Now, trees are crucial because when you absorb those, they will give you more energy that you can then use for building more material. And if you see at the top left-hand corner, these are your energies. So if it's a tree just takes 1 energy, a boulder takes 2, and then a robot takes 3. Now, while I'm just spotting these trees, I'm going to just quickly go and try and grab these. Now, it can be really hard to see exactly where they're positioned. Sometimes you just have to put your cursor roughly in the area and then tap A until it disappears. I'm going to give up on that tree there. I've got one down here. And again, I'm just pressing spacebar to go back to my movement. And again, I just need to get my bearings. So the Sentinel should be around the right-hand side. If I look around, it should be to the right and above me somewhere. There he is up here. Now let's see which way he's facing. Oh, he's about to. Okay, he's about to face right to me. So I need to move to the left. And now you can see that he's starting to absorb me. So I really need to be quick. This is where it gets stressful. And I'm going to place my robot somewhere over here, maybe about there. So I'm going to press R, I'm going to press Q as quickly as possible and teleport. And hopefully I will now not actually be in his line of sight. Now unfortunately my robot, well, I could just grab my boulder, but my robot was just out of sight, so I couldn't absorb it. Now let's have a look. He should be just looking to the right of me now. There you go. So I've got a little bit of time now because he will be turning anti-clockwise. What I want to be doing here is looking for any trees. I think this is a tree here right below me. I think. So let's just try if I press A there. Sure enough. That has absorbed that. And now if I look to the right, I'm hoping there's some more over here. Now again, whenever you want to teleport, you need to always try and do it slightly higher to where you are now, because the idea is you're trying to get higher. Now it's a bit unfortunate that a lot of these are being obscured. There's one there I can grab. I think that's probably all I can get for now. Now I saw some platforms here that I can use. Now you have to be able to see the square, the color square. So I can't put a robot here, for example, because I can't see the base. I'm not quite high enough. So these here are probably just a little bit higher than me. Now let's see where he is currently. So I want to probably place it over here somewhere, maybe about here. And I'm going to create a boulder, maybe a boulder or two. And then I'm going to press R to create another robot. Q to teleport. And like I said, the first thing you want to do as soon as you teleport is quickly absorb the items where you've just come from. So I want to quickly grab that robot there, pressing A. There's a tree there that I can grab. Let's have a look around, see if there's anything else that I can get. Because again, the more energy you have when you finally complete the level will determine how many levels that you skip. Okay, now he should be just to the left of me here. There's always a toss-up between how much you want to grab and how much time you've got before he swings around again and starts absorbing it. Of course, I always end up being greedy and taking too much, and then I'll start getting zapped in a minute. So now, where is he here? I'm getting quite close to him now. Oh shit! Yeah, he's about to. I better teleport. So let's teleport to about here, I would say. Although that looks a bit lower than where I am now. Okay. I'm gonna create a boulder. Let's quick robot. Teleport as quick as I can. And then I really need to grab my items before he takes it. It really annoys the hell out of me that he starts absorbing my stuff. There he goes. You bastard. Right, come on. Let's absorb. Grab that one as well before he does. Oh, too slow. Sometimes you're better off just cutting your losses, and then I want to start moving around the corner. So I want to move around to the right of him. So I think this is where he's sitting up here, isn't it? Yep. So let's move quickly to here. At the moment, I'm just sort of moving around the plinth, trying to grab as much energy as I can. I could have completed it there by just creating 2 or 3 boulders, but it is worth trying to get as much energy before you finally teleport, because you're going to be able to progress through the game a lot quicker. Now, again, here's where I might use the U to quickly do a U-turn. Now, if you're desperate and you're getting absorbed and you just haven't got time to build any material, you can press H for hyperspace, but what that will do is that will just hyperspace you somewhere randomly on the map, and it will also use crucial energy as well. So you do not want to be doing that. That really is a last resort. And in fact, if you haven't got enough energy and then you do hyperspace, you'll actually die. So let's have a look. Where is he? Is this him up here? Yep, so he's up there. Now let's have a quick look where he's facing. I probably at this point want to start thinking about completing the level. Oh god, so he's really about to. In fact, which way is he facing? Yeah, he's about to start zapping me any second. So I probably want to just go back down and jump to the left of him actually. Because any second now he is going to start absorbing me. And again, this is where the tension really builds. So I'm going to create a couple here, in fact. I'm going to do 2 boulders. I should have just enough energy to teleport. I'm pressing Q like crazy now. To be honest, I'm making a little bit of a hash of this, but it's very difficult to talk and concentrate on this at the same time. So let's quickly grab that before he does. Now, I've got plenty of time now, and in fact I'm already above him, so I might just have a look around for any of the trees that I can absorb just to try and recoup a little bit of energy. I should have a reasonable amount of time. There's one down there. I think it's on that platform. There we go. Sometimes you have to make a little bit of a hazard, a bit of a guess as to where the tree is sitting. And bearing in mind, this is just with one sentinel, so later on you start getting what are called sentries. So you have maybe 3, 4 things to deal with on one map, and it can be really tricky. Okay, now I think for the purpose of the demonstration, I'm now going to just complete the level. So I'm already higher than the sentinel, and the reason why I know that is because I can see his platform here. I'm looking down at his platform. I'm going to press A, and that will absorb him. And now I can now build a robot so that I can teleport to where he was sitting by pressing Q. And once you absorb him, you cannot absorb anything else. So you can't just sit there trying to absorb any other trees. I can't even, unfortunately, absorb this stuff here, which is really frustrating. It just makes a pinging noise. But now that I'm sitting on his plinth, I can tap H for hyperspace, and I will now hyperspace off the level. And that is basically the level complete. And what it will do is it will give me a code, and you need to make note of both of these. You need to make note of what level that you're going to go on to. So level 7, I've jumped 7 levels, and then you need to make a note of this code down here. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to necessarily go through a whole nother level, but what I am going to do is just show you one of the higher levels so that you can see what it looks like with an additional sentry. So in here, I need to type a 4-digit number for the level. So it's level 15 in my case. And the code. And these I assume will be different depending on how much energy and stuff that you've got as you go into the level. Hit return. And then what it's going to do, like before, is it's going to show you a map, and it'll give you an indication as to how many kind of enemies that you have. Okay, so as you can see on the next level, as well as the sentinel, you also have what's called a sentry. And on later levels, you can have 1, 2, 3, and I'm not quite sure how many it goes up to. But as well as worrying about this dude spinning around and trying to zap you, you have these sentries that can actually move around the landscape. So not only can they absorb your energy, but if they get near you or touch you, they can then also send you to somewhere completely randomly on the map itself, and it can be a real headache. You find yourself just jumping all over the map just to kind of kill those. Now you don't have to kill them before killing the sentinel, but typically I find it's easy to get rid of them before moving on to the sort of killing the main guy. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there because otherwise this will end up getting quite long. But hopefully that gives you everything that you need to get started. Do please ask any questions in the comments, and I will make sure or try my best to answer them for you. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching, and take care.